Hello everybody and welcome back to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We're here on this wonderful Sunday night with Sim Racing's Unleashes Cup Series, and tonight's race is the J&S Lawn Care Services 200 here at the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway here on iRacing.com. And we want to definitely give a quick shout out to the league sponsor here on Sunday nights, and that is Budget Sim Boxes. If you're a sim racer on a budget looking for a button box, then Budget Sim Boxes is your source. You can find them on Facebook by searching Budget Sim Boxes, or look for them in the Facebook iRacing flea market. But I'm Zach Hall up in the booth here tonight for all the racing action, and we're joined alongside me, we'll have David Medina, and we'll have Robert Moyer Jr. up in the production box. David back here for race number 4 at the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and a slight change. We're in the Gen 6 car. Man, this is going to be an interesting night.
Yeah, absolutely. 80 laps around this famous track, and looking forward to getting this thing started. You know, Mark Whitley won this last time we were here, and he's also putting down some fast laps during practice as well. So yeah, looking forward to getting this started, and watching these guys just put on another great show they have all season long.
Yeah, it's really been great shows all season long, and definitely interesting to see the change up to the Gen 6 here. This is what they're hoping will produce a little bit more numbers out on the racetrack. Guys want to participate and a little bit better racing out there. So hopefully we see that tonight as the times are still clicking in here from the final practice times. Mark Whitley at top of the practice boards right now. We're about 40 seconds away here from qualifying. How important do you think qualifying is going to be here tonight, David?
I think it is going to be important. Now, this isn't the easiest track to pass on. Draft dependent on this track, especially on the straightaways there. So you're trying to run side by side in these corners. You can do it, but as the tires wear on, it just makes it a little bit difficult on exits and stuff. So if it was me, I would definitely try to qualify up towards the front.
Looking to qualify up front will be a key for sure here tonight at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. thank you all for tuning in as always here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up button, and if you aren't subscribed yet, please subscribe, so you can stay up to date on all our racing action here on the Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And also, you can hit that bell notification. That also notifies you, too. If you want to support us, that's also in the chat there. There's some support there links, so make sure you hit those up. And we'll have much more coming in the future as Freaky Fast Broadcasting continues to grow. But, man, what a night we have in store for y'all here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We just head into qualifying right now. And, man, after Mark Whitley's dominant performance we've seen from him the past couple weeks, it'll be interesting to see if anybody can take some of that momentum away from that 77 machine.
Yeah, I think that's what these drivers are shooting for now, is to try and stop his momentum. You're looking at the top 5 in points. You have Steve Sipien and Mark Whitley both tied for first after last week, and then you have Dave Bush 6 points out, and Jason Adams 8 points out, and then followed by Dakota Bryant, who's 14 points out. So these guys are going to try and close that gap out and try to make their way past Mark Whitley, which is a very tall challenge to do. He's been on fire.
Yes, he definitely has, coming off those back-to-back season championships and trying to go for the three-peat in a row. That would be some type of feat for that 77. And, you brought up Steven Stipien and Mark Whitley coming here tonight tied for the points. I think the one thing that Steven Stipien is missing from the resume so far is a win. 3 top 5s, 3 top 10s. He's been very consistent through these first 3 races. I think the key, though, is getting into victory lane. And I tell you what, tonight it could be his chance, because I've watched him before at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This tends to be one of his better racetracks. We'll see what he can produce in that 81 machine if he can finally get into that winner's column 4 races into the season.
Yeah, he's shown that he has the speed to be able to keep up with with Mark, and like you said, he's had some really good finishes already this year. So being consistent and finishing up front, so he's doing everything he needs to do. He just needs to catch a break and get that final piece to get him to the checker flag into the winner's circle.
Final pieces all coming together here for many drivers for sure. Trying to figure out how to get going in this season, 4 races in, because you don't want to dig a hole too early into this season. You want to be able to have some way to climb yourself back out before they head off into the playoff stretch of this season. But watching the number 9 machine here, Michael Yarrow, put down his qualifying time. Mark Whitley going to be the first one to put his time down. That's going to be a 51.73. Not as quick as what he ran there in practice. We'll have to see if the second lap, though, is the better one.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely not the start or lap he wanted to put down, but like you said, we'll see how he does in the second lap. But, talking about this race here, we've been talking about Mark, we've been talking about the guys in the points lead in the top 5. Is this one of those races where we could see somebody, that just hasn't had the victory yet, step up and get a lucky break and get that first win of the season for them? So, this is, again, another one of those tracks where pit road is going to make a interesting play in here, because it is every pit road is one of those ones you can make a mistake on, or you can gain time on. So it's gonna be interesting to see how these guys do. It's a very flat track, so it's real easy to heat up them tires and overuse your tires and stuff here. So you got to take care of your equipment, which these guys really do a really good job at.
As you see the time starting to click in there, Michael Yarrow there, his second lap is going to be aborted quickly as he gets into the wall there, exiting turn number 2. Right now, the leaderboard looking like Mark Whitley, Steven Stimpy, Chuck Sweeting, Michael Yarrow, and Dave Bush here, as we've had 10 times being put down so far here. One big key critical thing I think we can look at through tonight, 4 sets of tires here. Somebody's going to have 3 in pit road with 80 laps here tonight. That's definitely an interesting, how the strategy is going to play. I'm unsure exactly what our fuel mileage is looking like, so I'm kind of off in that realm. But I would most likely think this is a 2-stop race.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing about a 2-stop race, but it's just good to give these guys some options if there are some late cautions, have that extra set in there and see if they use them up. But just as we saw some of these guys kind of struggling on the exit to the turn, it's real easy to get back to that throttle a little bit early, and then that car just kind of washes up into that wall. To something for us to keep an eye on, watch out during as this race unfolds.
As time still continues to click off here in this qualifying session, we got 50 seconds remaining. Unsure if there's any other drivers taking time out here looking out on the racetrack. Looks like the 70 of Mike Chamberlain is still sitting here on pit road. He will not be able to get a time in. Here's the 14 of Brad Delph. Will he have enough time to put his lap in? It looks like he's already put one down. It looks like this will be a little bit of an abort lap here as he's coming in nice and slow. So 7th on the board there for Brad Delph. as the time continues to click away. Doesn't look like nobody else putting in times. So most likely Mark Whitley looks like he's going to bring home another pole position, and that's going to be his third of the season. So 3 for 4 for that 74 machine or 77 machine. That is that's on fire.
That is on fire, and I think that that qualifying lap was actually faster than when he ran in practice. So still finding a little bit more speed on the track, which could not be good news for the rest of the field.
Oh, very well could be a big sign that big things are to come here for him tonight. As that is the end of our qualifying session, Mark Whitley will get that third pole position as we'll look to bring up our starting grid here tonight. Starting on that front row, we're going to have Mark Whitley and the 81 of Steven Stempien.
Going to the second row, we have going to row 2. We have Chuck Sweeney and Michael Yarrow.
Third row, we're going to have Dave Bush in the 53 and Cody Dorsey.
Followed by Brad Depp and Larry Blair.
And our fifth row here to round out our top 10 is going to be Derek Love and Randy Pierce. That's your top 10 drivers there in qualifying. Looking back, some notable ones we're going to be watching for Brandon Hartwell there in the 11th position. He's always a quick driver in this Gen 6 car. That's something I think this switch will help him. Also, some more notable guys like the 13 and Nicholas Lobby starting back there in the 23rd position. He's going to have a long way to come. Same for Cody Luke back in 24th. But 24 cars here tonight ready to take on the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway. David, this is going to be fun to watch as they do battle here. Our top 2 in points tied coming in here tonight. And they're going to start on the front row side by side.
Yeah, turn 1's going to be an interesting place to kind of watch these guys going to turn 1 side by side. I'm going to keep my eye on Chuck. Chuck's had some speed here the last couple of weeks and just, had some misfortunes last week. But I'm going to keep my eye on him. I'm sure he's hungry. He wants to get in that points lead as well and make his presence known. So keep an eye on that 75.
It'll be fun to watch as they'll be looking to roll off a grid here in the next few moments. Here's about 17 seconds remaining before we do roll off and we head down for the one pace lap before we take the green flag. Got to definitely give a special shout out to all you viewing and a special shout out to J&S Lawn Care Services for sponsoring tonight's race here for 200 miles at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's going to be a fun one to watch as, man, there they go. They're going to start rolling down.
There they go. Yep, getting off slowly onto the track. But there they go, getting ready to get lined up here, and we'll be ready to get this thing going. 80 laps, 200 miles. So it's going to be some interesting side by side maneuvers and see how aggressive these guys are. If there's any give and take early, I think that's going to be the key for a lot of these guys to be patient and let your car come to you.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things too that we're going to have to see is how is passing done. We've seen with this Gen 6 car and other series at the mile and a halves here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting where it's very tough to pass. You try to make a pass on someone, a lot of times that'll end up actually, taking your chances away, and the driver behind you takes advantage of it, and you kind of get stuck in a bad spot. You lose spots by trying to take a position. I think here tonight, though, David, with the one groove racetrack like Indianapolis is, I think that bottom lane always going to be dominant. So I think if you can get to the inside of somebody and get the pass done, you should be able to clear them by the exit of the corner.
Yeah, I think you're right. The inside lane is a preferred lane around here, especially when you're making a pass. If you're on the outside and somebody's on the inside of you, it just takes away your exit, makes it more difficult there. But if you can't get a car to stick on the outside, you can try and take that exit away from the inside car. So be interesting to see how these guys maneuver. This track is unique because it is so flat with a very long, front stretch and back stretch. So, we're getting ready to see how this all starts to shake out. But looking forward to this.
That we are looking very much forward to this as the drivers come through the short chute between 3 and 4, and they will be looking to see that pace car hit pit road, and we will be looking for that green flag here tonight for the J&S Lawn Care 200 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Again, thank you all for tuning in. This is about to get spicy here as we're back to Gen 6 action here at the SRU Cup Series. Green flag looking to be flown in the air here at any moment as Mark Whitley will lead us to green flag in the air, and we're off and away as a great start from our front 2. It's a dead even here as they cross the yard of bricks down to turn 1.
Going into turn 1, side by side, shifting through the gears, side by side all the way back through the first 10 spots. these guys making it work so far already, coming into the turn 2.
Steven Stippian fights on the outside there for that first position. Has to give it up down in the 2 as Whitley clears, takes the lead down the back straightaway. Chuck Sweet going to slot in the 3rd. Michael Yarrow there in 4th, and Dave Bush going to round out your top 5 as we head down the long back straightaway here at the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
I tell you, these guys definitely got it sorted out really, really fast, running the single file pretty quickly. So pretty great move by these guys just to get it sorted out early, not to be wasting so much time and running side by side. But yeah, here we see Mark Whitley just taking off, got a little bit loose there on exit. Not something that's not uncommon there to have that rear end kick out a little bit on you.
Yeah, it's definitely something we see. That's a common thing. You've seen Whitley there come off before. He was a very much loose. And I can tell you from the last time I drove Indianapolis Motor Speedway in this Gen 6 Cup car, it was on the looser side. You actually had to really kind of drive it off the right rear, and you kind of want that here at this place. If you're plowing tight, how flat it is, it's a tough place. It looks like Chuck Sweeten there. He's going to pull it to the inside. He's having some connection issues, so he's going to lose a lot of track position here early in the going here at Indianapolis as he tries to clear up those connection issues down this long back straightaway.
Yeah, tough break for him. Had a good starting spot there, and unfortunately, having those internet connection issues, and hopefully he'll be able to get that sorted out. But one thing, I don't know if you noticed it on the backstretch there, but I think we'll see a lot of this is on the straightaways. These guys are going to be kind of snaking it down just to try and break out away from the draft and just trying to gain that little bit additional time on the car behind them.
Yeah, you're very right about that, David. We're going to see guys going left and right here as we're looking at Hartwell here in the 25 machine. He's already made up 4 positions in this 25, and I'm telling you, I think with this change to the Gen 6 Cup car at these bigger tracks and mile and a halves, I really think he is going to be suited well for this. But I've seen him in the past be very, very strong as he gets to the back bumper of the 84 Cody Dorsey here for the 6 positions down this back straightaway. But Hartwell is going to be one to watch for, I think, for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think you're right, and we've just seen what he's doing here, just getting real close to the bumper, gaining that draft, and it's a good way to set up a pass. If you can get close to that car in front of you, and then dive to the inside, and and make it sit before the car is able to turn in. To just a great job by that 25 right there to set up the pass.
Oh, looks like he's going to try to make the move with the 87 Derek Love. Heath had thoughts about going 3 wide, decides not to there as down in the wood. Hartwell trying to get the pass done on the 84 Cody Dorsey for the 6th position. Doesn't have it done in the short shoot, but down here into 2. Going to be able to get clear of that 84. That's Brendan Hartwell up to 6th from the 11th position. What a drive for that 25 here in the opening laps.
Yeah, you'll see these guys dip below that white line in that turn on the low line there just to help that car rotate. Just got to be careful doing that because especially when you get on older tires, that car will, sometimes will cause that tire to kind of kick out on you. But it is a way to make that car turn if you are a little bit tight.
Right now, most of the field looking single file as Derek Love here runs in the 8th position. Our leader, Mark Whitley, though, he has opened up the gap. He has really grown this gap over Steven Stickney. It's about 1.2 seconds back to Steven Stickney, who has Yarrow somewhat all over the back end of that 81. This could be a strategic thing. I know Mark Whitley. I've raced him for a long time. He likes to go out there, get this lead, and hang on to it. How much conserving is going on, I don't know how much it is from the 77, but I know that 81, he is always conserving something, trying to put it in his back pocket for later in the run. Right now, the 77 trying to run away, though.
He is. He's flat out running out there, and a 51.96 versus a 52.51 versus a 52.79. So just putting down some good laps. But yeah, he will get out there and try to put some distance on people right off the bat and force you to have to use up your tires to try and catch back up to him.
You're looking at James Bryant in this 52 machine. He's directly ahead of Dakota Bryant and Jason Adams. Also, here as they come off of turn number 4. Looks like Jason Adams was able to get around Dakota Bryant there for that 15th spot. One big mover I'm looking through the field is making another spot on Clifton Ashley up here in the 10 machine to break into 11th. And almost contact there between the 7th of Keith Hurlbutt and Clifton Ashley. But Keith Hurlbutt up from 19th now up to 11th. What a drive for this 7 machine. Yeah,
he's definitely making some gains out there already early into this race. Like you said, he's up 8 spots. Unfortunately, Chuck, I'm not sure what's happening with Chuck right now, but right now Chuck's dropped down 18 spots.
Yeah, and I think Chuck is still having those connection issues, so I think he dropped to that back of the pack there trying not to cause no major issues for any of the drivers around him there. So he's back in that 21st position in that 75 machine, but he's still hanging on to the back of the pack, doing a great job as the rest of the field here. You see him cycle off of 4. Look at that, Jason Adams. He's having to jump out in that 24. He's going to get around the 52 of James Bryant. So Jason Adams even making a good climb up. He's from 20th to 14th. So we're seeing guys really work their way through the field here tonight.
Yeah, Brandon Hartwell as well is up 6 spots. So, a lot of guys, making some early moves. We'll see how that all plays out for them, and make sure that they didn't burn up their stuff trying to do so. But these guys doing a good job here, and you can see all these cars when they're coming off the turns, man. They're just really stepping out on them, but they're doing a great job keeping it, under control. Just as time goes on, makes you wonder, what's that gonna do for tire wear for them.
7 laps in, and we're already definitely seeing those rear ends step out as Dakota Bryant there. He almost got into the wall in that 58 machine there. He's giving out free hugs, but don't want to give out a free hug to the wall.
Definitely don't want to give a free hug to the wall. But just keeping an eye on these lap times. Mark's last lap time was the 53.22. The 81 of Steven was the 53.08.
Yeah, definitely looking like Steven Stippian up here starting to break back into that area of that 77. And, 8 laps in here, this is definitely the point of the run where you're going to start to see a little bit more of that tire wear starting to come into effect as Dakota Bryant trying to get around James Bryant there in this 58 machine. There goes James Bryant actually down to the inside of Mike Chamberlain in the 70 down here in the turn 3. So definitely seeing a lot of passing. This is something a good sign to see here with this Gen 6 car and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah, looks like from the shot there, looks like the 70 of Mike Chamberlain has a little bit of damage on his right rear, like maybe he made a little contact with that wall.
And that's one thing you definitely don't want here at this racetrack. Definitely damage is going to create a huge issue as you see Chamberlain still trying to hold on to that spot there. And that 70 machine is the Jim Kolmsberger. He's going to get by in the 19. And here comes Kevin Roy. He's got to run 2 in this 12 machine. So you're just seeing, you can see the damage there. Look at that. The 70, just major damage on that right side. And that right there just create a lot of drag. So it's what it sounds like from our producer here. He got rear-ended. So unfortunately for that 70, he did get some rear-end damage. We'll have to look for the culprit with front-end damage out there to see who's running around with that.
Yeah, we'll have to find the piece to the puzzle, and if you got rear damage, someone's got to have front end damage, right? So we'll have to see who might have got into him there. But yeah, keeping an eye on Keith and Jason. They're still up 8 spots, running 12th and 11th, and just keep an eye on Mark there, 53.11 on his last lap. So still running some pretty quick times compared to the rest of the field.
And look right there. There's our culprit. Yep, there's the 10 of Clifton Ashley. Major damage on the nose of that car. He's going to get passed by the 19 of Jim Kolmsberger. And, you're seeing Mike Chamberlain come up on him now, too, with Kevin Roy there behind him. That front-end damage much worse than that rear-end damage. Clifton's going to be hanging on for dear life here with this Gen 6 car, trying to do whatever he can not to lose this draft.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's not too happy with the way the car is handling, but that front nose kind of tells the story there. Of why that car is probably not handling as well as he would like. So he's running a little bit higher line. That would just kind of tell me he's a little bit tight. But long race to go, so maybe he'll be able to get that fixed and be able to work his way back up.
Mark Koshik here in this 33 machine. He's going forward, too. He's getting past Mike Chamberlain. Same there with Robert Cheswick in the 6th. These guys all fighting so strong back here. And this is where we're seeing majority of our action here tonight. Majority has been happening back here as the front guys have really kind of spaced out and they're just riding right now. While really from the 15th position on back, everybody's battling.
Yeah, and Mark's actually stretched out that lead a little bit more on Steven. He's up to a 1.49, not a whole lot of gain, but up to almost a second and a half lead on him, and then up to Euro, he's got a 2.3 second lead on him. So stretching out a little bit, haven't really lost a whole lot of time.
Definitely has it, definitely stretched it out, but Steven Stipping there maybe starting to keep it there pretty even as well that time. I think he's going to lose a good bit of time this time around. has maybe had a mistake in that 81. But I gotta give a shout out to Mr. Stempian out in the chat there. No problem for being late, sir, and also great. He got to go visit his grandson today from Steven Stempian, and he says he's a future sim racer. That's what we love to hear. We can't wait to see him out on the racetrack maybe one day here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. That would be awesome to see. But man, oh man, great stuff. Always having the families out there tuning in here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But thank you all again out there for chatting it up. And if you got any questions, comments, or concerns, definitely let us know out there in the chat. And I'll try to handle it the best I can.
Yeah, that would be awesome to be able to see him racing his family member there on the track. Yeah, I have maybe a little bit of family feud going there on the course, but really liking that number 9 paint scheme. It's that Mountain Dew number 9, red number 9, looking pretty good on the track.
Yeah, definitely looking good. And Michael Yarrow, he's another driver, in my opinion, that this switch to the Gen 6 at mile-and-a-half tracks is going to benefit him. He's a very good driver and being very quick on the long runs, especially on these bigger racetracks. And I think this switch to this car is going to let his skill and driver talent just show up that little bit more in this 9 machine. And right now, I mean, he's showing it. He's pulling up to the back bumper of Steven Stempian and actually not letting him get away. Is Mark Willie up front, I mean, he is just driving away. I was concerned a little bit about his tires with how fast he was going. But at this point, it's hard to say that 77 is burning anything up because he's continuing to drive away.
Yeah, I think it just goes to confirm just the type of car control that Mark has. He's been, showing it week in and week out, and he's already showing it here now. 14 laps into this race, and he was up to this last lap. He was the only car that was still running a 53-second lap. So right now, he just ran a 54-second lap. So still, quicker than everybody else. I mean, Steven was running a 54.40. So I had the same fears too, that with the beginning of the race that maybe he was just going to burn his stuff up, but once again he proves me wrong.
Definitely proving us all wrong here today. Is that 77? Yeah, as now you can see the pressure, the 9 machine of Michael Yarrow putting it on the 81 here at Steven Stempian. And Steven, he's fell back so far now from Mark Willie. I wonder how hard he'll fight for this spot here. If Yarrow is just quicker, he might be able to latch onto him. The draft is a very big factor here, David. So I think if he lets this 9 by, maybe that 9 can help pull him closer up to that 77.
Yeah, that's a great piece that you brought there. And what are these guys going to do? Do they stay in line and try to chase down the leader, or does the 9 go ahead and go through and see if, since he's faster, is he able to help chase down that leader? So, but this goes back to what you were talking about earlier in the race. Is that this isn't the easiest place to pass? So it's one thing to be able to catch up to Steven, but how do you pass him?
Yeah, that is the question there, Dave. How do you get it done? He's caught up to him. He's got within that 2.5 car length gap, and this is where it gets tough, ladies and gentlemen. Like, it's one thing to be faster than someone, but making the pass, that's always the old adage that everybody says. It's just way tougher to do that. When you get close to these guys, it's what we call dirty air. There's a lot of turbulent air coming off these cars. The spoilers, just in general, the body of these cars creates a huge wake, which in turn does make a good draft. But when you're in the corners, you're losing downforce on the front end of these race cars, and you just lose so much performance. And it not only does you lose lap time and just the drivability of your car behind someone, it actually does damage to your tires with having less downforce on them, and it's creating the tires to slide more on the racetrack. So it's one of those things that you got to be very, worried about burning your tires up trying to get by somebody being this close like Yarrow is.
Yeah, and those are all great points that you made there as well. And they're both running the same line, so yeah, that car of Euro, being behind the 81 there, I mean, it's just gonna it's gonna make them use his tire up, and it increases the chances of him getting tight on exit. So he could end up making contact with the wall if he's not careful. So it'd be interesting to see how he's able to make this work. And maybe right now he's just trying to buy his time, until we get to the first pit stop.
One thing I noticed I like he's doing, he's really backing the corner up. He got the closest he's ever been right there, first of all. But he's backing the corner up also entering about a lane higher than Steven Stimpy, trying to get a little air on the nose as he turns down into the corner to get that downforce on it. And he's trying his best. It's just so tough especially when you get to this point of the run. This point of the run is usually when the tires start to even out. You start to see guys running similar speeds, and that's when the passing becomes extremely tough. And I'm seeing that kind of example here back in the 5th place position with Brandon Hartwell. He's got Brad Delph, who's ran right up to the back bumper of him about 2 car lengths back in this 14 machine, but he hasn't been able to get it done either. As Hartwell, he charged up through the field in this 25 from the 11th to the 5th position. I think he's definitely feeling the effects of using those tires right now. But Brad Delph, he's able to get close, just not able to get it done. As you can see, even battling back here, I believe that's Randy Peer in the 00. He's trying to make a pass here on the 84 Cody Dorsey, get up to 8th, and Randy there in that 00 trying his best on the inside line.
Yeah, making we got a few battles here on the track that are going on, and it's just again it's so difficult on this track to just trying to make that move inside. And I agree with what you were saying about Euro. He does a really good job understanding the situation he's in, and to prevent him overusing his tires while he's going up running behind Steven. He's backing that corner up, like you said, which gives him a better run on the exit, and he's utilizing that to the best of his advantage and stuff. So if you look at the lap times, I mean a 54.55 with Mark, and then a 54.59 with Michael. So pretty comparison lap times.
Yeah, pretty good lap times all around. And got to give a shout out to our biggest mover so far in the first 19 laps of tonight's event, and that's the 24, Jason Adams. What a run it's been for him there. As you can look now at him on the front straightaway, he's about almost a second up on James Bryan there, but he's made it from 20th to 11th. That's 9 spots, and he's got a good little way up to that 10 machine of the 73. So we'll see if he can continue his march up. But Jason Adams having a good run here in this switch to the Gen 6 Cup car.
Yeah, that he is. You can tell these guys seem to be a lot more comfortable in this Gen 6 car. Which I'm sure they're glad to see them going back to this car here. And this track here it is a lot of fun, to race on. There is just a little bit of everything on this track. If you like the draft racing, there's a lot of drafting that takes place here. So it is a fun track to race on, and these guys look like they're having a blast.
And definitely, it also got to point out he's got the JNS Lawn Care Services car out there too. So. That's always good when you have the race sponsor on your car. That usually adds a little pace to that race car. And give a shout out to Robbie Darnell out there. He said he painted his car for him. So he's definitely having a good run. Up 9 spots already in the first 20 laps. This is definitely a good climb up. If he gets a caution, he could have a better shot to climb even more farther up the field.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's good to have a good run when you have that sponsor on your car there. So, just we're 20 laps into it. We're trying to figure out what's going to be their pit strategies, when they're going to start pitting, and that's going to play a whole nother part into this race as well. Are we going to see anybody getting any pit penalties or anything like that? Guys may be missing their pits, but pit strategy is another big part of this race. You can gain or lose time, getting on and off pit road. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out here, as we should be approaching pit stop sometime soon.
Well, I tell you what, the gap is decreasing. Oh no, in the second place man, Steven Stimpy. Oh man, he almost collected the wall off of 2 there. And then say one machine, it's going to be a big run from Michael Yarrow here in the 9. He's possibly going to look into the inside down here into 3, and he will. Big shot here for the 9 of Michael Yarrow to get the pass done on the 81 Stimpy, who was just starting to make inroads on the 77. Now Michael Yarrow up to second. What a move.
We were talking a few laps ago was, how do you pass here? Well, that's one way of doing it is wait till somebody makes a mistake and open the door for you, and then take advantage of it. And that's exactly what Yarrow was able to do. So now we'll be able to see what he has in comparison to Mark.
Yeah, and that was so unfortunate for Steven. He had just brought the gap down to right under 2 seconds. Now that gap back up to 2.8 with that mistake there crossing the line. This is going to give Yarrow some clean air to see what he can do in that 9 machine to get it. And I tell you what, the difference there right there, Yarrow missed the corner there in 2. This is going to be a big run here from Stimpy as we ride on board. He may have a shot to get this position back.
Yeah, he's closing into the bumper here on the back stretch. So yeah, we'll see over the next couple of laps if if he's able to make the pass back. Maybe even get Mark into a mistake.
What a move from Steven Stimpy, and back in the second position. That 81 looking strong here in the late going of this run. What a move from him, though, to get it done. And really what he did there, I noticed, is a classic move here. Get right up on the back of somebody, almost making like you're about to look out onto the inside of them, make them overdrive that corner. Make them slide up the racetrack, and that's one thing we see Yarrow do twice, in the 3 and in the 2, is he missed the bottom groove. You missed the bottom groove here at Indianapolis. If you don't get that left side tire down to that white line, it is not a great run off the corner. So you definitely got to get that done, as Yarrow's going to have a good run this time now, coming off of 2. So it's switching back and forth between these two guys.
Yeah, it is, and unfortunately, it's allowing Mark to get further away, so he's now stretched out that lead up to a little over 3 seconds.
Oh, we have a first taker on pit road. That is Dave Bush here in the 53. He is now just getting his service done on this race car. Going to put the left side tires on, get the rest of the fuel packed in that race car, and now he's going to pull off a pit road here on lap number 23 of this race here. And Mark Whitley going to be coming right here this time by to put him 1 lap down. But Dave was running in that 4th spot, kind of in no man's land there all by himself. He elects to come down pit road here on lap 23. An interesting call from him.
Interesting call is right. But it's also going to wonder now, does anybody else come up pit road now? Is this the start of seeing everybody come down, pit road? We know that Mark races his own strategy. He runs his own game plan, and doesn't allow other guys' game plan to affect his way of thinking. So we'll see how it all shakes out here.
Yeah, definitely an interesting stop there. A little bit earlier than I would have thought. I was thinking around lap 26 was going to be the mark for these guys. So about 3 laps earlier than that, maybe trying to get a little bit of undercut here, trying to gain a little time on these other drivers as he's going to try to run Mark Whitley down to unlap himself the old-fashioned way before pit stops happen. But yeah, definitely a little bit earlier than I thought. Maybe he might have had some issue that pushed him down. I'll have to go back and check out exactly what happened on that 53 machine.
Yeah, as he approaches him, Mark here, I'm sure that Mark will just go ahead and move out the way for him. You don't want to sit there and race side by side and allow the second and third place car to catch back up to you. So right now, Stevens knocked that lead down to a 2.8, but we'll see if Mark is behind Dave, and try to utilize his draft.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out for him here as Whitley getting passed by the 53 Dave Bush there to now unlap himself, put himself back onto the lead lap here as we'll be coming by to complete lap 25 this time by. We'll see when the other drivers elect to come down. Right now, still our top 3 all continuing on here to complete this 25th lap. I do think, though, in the next few laps, you're going to see the first few takers.
Yeah, lap 26, and the first 3 cars have got an 11-second lead over 4th place over Hartwell. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see when they do come down pit road. They got plenty of gap there to be able to do so. But yeah, then we'll be in for another long run. But looking at these lap times still, got Mark Willie at a 54.90, Steve Simpian at a 54.92. So pretty similar times. It's gonna be a little bit hard to make up the gap on over Mark with those kind of lap times and stuff. But we're not even over halfway yet, so anything can happen. You get a caution out there, and it's going to change everything all over again.
Very well could as we're going back here to the 6th of Robert Cheswick. He's in the 17th position, so he's up a good portion there. So he's up 5 spots from where he started. Right now, 31 seconds behind our leader, Mark Willie. He's got about another 2 seconds up to Dakota Bryant in that 58 machine. But the real big pack I'm seeing here is really from James Bryant on back in this 52 machine from 11th all the way back to Chuck Sweeten here in 15th. There's just a good old gaggle of cars here, all racing for position here right before pit stops look to transpire.
Yeah, as close as they're racing, if they all decide to come to pit road together, that should be an interesting scene to see.
Yeah, very well could be. We brought up pit road early in the broadcast about how difficult it is getting onto each and every pit road at these tracks. Personally, this is one of the more difficult ones. It's a very short, braking zone from the exit of turn 4 down the pit road, and you have to get it slowed down pretty quickly and very easy to lock the tires up here. Is Kevin Roy making the move now on Jim Kolmesberger in the 19?
Yeah, you come off turn 4, and when you come off turn 4, then you have to turn the wheel and go right into pit lane, and then start backing it down. So, there's two approaches to that. That's going to be try and gain as much time coming in the pit road, and then there's the cautious way of backing it down a little bit early, but you take the chance of losing a whole lot of time.
That is for sure. You don't want to lose time, as it looks like we may have another driver in pit road. Oh, yes, the 9 of Michael Yarrow is on pit road. He's had a major mistake, though. He slid through his box in the 9, now getting the right sides jacked up. He's going to lose a good bit of time here to the 81 and the 77.
Yeah, that's something kind of talked about earlier. Pit road mistakes, and what we didn't talk about was sliding through your pit stall. But on worn tires, got 28 laps on these tires. Very easy to do. The tires just don't have that kind of grip, and just carry too much speed into that pit stall.
Doug Sweeten here in the 75 machine. He's running back in 15th. Started from the 3rd position. Had the connection issues plague him so far, so that's unfortunate for him. But there's a lot of battling going on there ahead of him. You got Clifton Ashley also, who's 3 laps down now in that 10 machine. You got the 19 Jim Kolmesberger up to 13. So lots of different drivers with different agendas going on. Mark Koshik getting by. Jim Kolmesberger put himself up to the 12th spot, as right now pit stops are starting to happen more and more with more guys pulling off.
Jason Adams in the 24 car up 11 spots, so doing a fine job already so far in this race. And lap 29, and yeah, I mean doing a great job up there. You're picking up spots one at a time.
He really has had a fantastic night, and definitely somewhat of a quiet, other than making all the passes, somewhat of a quiet night. Hadn't had no issues getting through none of that traffic there, and has been kind of all by himself here at this point, as he's trying to run down the 73 of Larry Blair right ahead of him.
Yeah, the only disadvantage he has right now is just doesn't have a whole lot of draft help right now. So that's kind of hurting him, being able to catch more towards the cars in front of him. But boy, behind him, he's got a bunch of cars looking to catch him.
Yeah, he's definitely got a gaggle back there from that 9th position on back. Is Larry Blair there in the 73 machine? He's on pit road coming down this time. So another driver elected to come here on lap 30. So definitely still some people stretching it, though. I don't, could someone stretch it to 40? That's my question. Did someone save the fuel? Is it close enough to do? Because if you can one-stop this race, that's still a very good strategy.
Yeah, I mean that's a great question as to how much fuel do they have left in there. Can they do it on one stop? But then you go back to Dave Bush, who's already laid out his bed there and pitted early, so he's not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to make it. He's got to pit one more time.
Yeah, Dave Bush definitely in a tough scenario with the way his pit strategy's played out. But the 84 here, Cody Dorsey, looks like he's done a fantastic job right now, as he's up to 3rd with Randy Peart and the 00 there behind him. So Dorsey, a newcomer to the league, not a newcomer to Freaky Fast Broadcast, and a great supporter and a racer out there. So we got a shout out to him there for joining SRU and bringing himself here to this Cup Series, as he's got that 00 behind him there. Still continuing on with our leaders still out front, also continuing here, not the pit.
Yeah, I think Mark Willie is now coming down pit road now, and then so is Steven.
And there they come here on lap 30, coming to complete lap 31. Whitley and Steven Stippy coming to their pit boxes. No mistakes here is going to be the goal. And, man, such a tough pit road, too, with just not only getting slowed down, but the boxes are very small. They're made for Indy cars.
Yeah, they are, and it is very narrow. But fortunately for these guys, being able to come down here under green single file cars, it shouldn't be too big of a challenge for them. But what is just the slab there. It's just again, you get those tires, hot tires, and worn out tires, pulling up to that concrete slab. Just don't have the grip there and really just slide through. But just like they were able to get it wound up and stopped in their pit box right where they needed to.
Cody Dorsey continues on to 84 out front here now with him and Randy Peart. And that 00 machine they have yet to hit pit road. Same for Jason Adams in the 24 machine. Same for Chuck Sweeting in the 75. Kevin Roy, James Bryant, Dakota Bryant. And pretty much that's it. Our top 9, or our top 7 have not yet pit.
Yet they have not pitted yet. And I imagine we'll be seeing him anytime. I'm sure right now they're just trying to run out their fuel tank and hope to get a caution that would really shake up the field.
It definitely would shake things up if we were to get a caution here tonight. But man, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it's a place where you normally don't see this type of things happen. Is now Jim Kohlesberger there in the 19. He's going to make the pass on Randy Pierre. And this is not for position here, ladies and gentlemen. This is him trying to get his lap back here in this 19 along with the 70 Mike Chamberlain.
Yeah, to keep an eye here on Cody Dorsey and Randy, both running about a 55.76, 55.66. So Randy a little bit quicker than Cody right now, and then Jason Adams now running third, a gain of 17 spots.
A huge gain for a lot of these guys. And here comes the 00 down the pit road of Randy Pierre. He's going to get slowed down as Cody Dorsey continues on here to start lap 34. I mean, is it possible to stretch it that far? I mean, we are still 6 laps out of that point, but man, I don't know. That's a good question I think these guys have in the back of their mind right now, and something we're going to have to find out.
Yeah, not too surprising really to see some of these guys that were running a little bit farther back to be able to get a few more laps than say Mark, because they were having that draft, and Mark really was up front, just with no draft and not able to run as far as some of these other guys. So not too surprising to see him run a few extra additional laps.
Yeah, and I just had to go back and do a little research here for myself and to look at some data just to see what is the fuel mileage looking like. And personally, from looking at some of my past data, you could go 39 laps on fuel. So does someone have enough to save that? I mean, Dorsey's continuing on, man. That's 34 down now, 6 till that lap 80 mark. I mean, he could very well try to make this.
Yeah, they're definitely stretching this out, and just watching Mark Whitley, who we saw pit on lap 31, has worked his way back up to 5th place. Got around Dave Bush, so we'll see him taking the lead when the first 4 cars decide to pit.
77 of Whitley there, passing even James Bryant in the 52, I believe, who is yet to pit also. So he's getting by drivers who have yet to pit, and I don't know if this is going to be a winning strategy for these guys to try to save the 40, but it very well could play out to be a very good strategy for these guys, position-wise at the end of this race. I mean, it could shake up everything if they're able to one-stop this. Right now, though, definitely fun to watch as Kevin Roy there from 3rd. He's going to come down pit road as Jason Adams and Cody Dorsey continue to complete laps out front.
Yeah, just kind of taking a look at the board here and seeing when everybody pitted. You got different kinds of strategies all over the place. Lap 31, Mark Whitley pitted. Then you got lap 27 from Michael Yarrow, lap 22 for Dave Bush. You got some other guys like Chuck who pitted in lap 34. So they're definitely all over the place.
There goes the 9 of Michael Yarrow. He's getting by James Bryant there as he'll continue his charge forward. Remember, Michael Yarrow pitted a good bit laps earlier than Mark Whitley and Steven Stippian. As you can see, Steven Stippian coming into the background now there in the 81. He's getting by James Bryant also to move himself back up into that top 5, but he should be able to have quick work with Michael Yarrow here with those fresher tires. The big thing for him, though, he's lost a considerable amount of time to Mark Whitley through all this phase.
Yeah, that he has, and Mark Whitley just once again another impressive race that he's put together so far. His last lap was a 52.98, and our leader's running a 55.74. So fresh tires definitely making a difference on the track, and he's working his way back up. Mark Whitley's sitting about 6.6 seconds back.
The 24, Jason Adams, he hits pit road. The JNS Lawn Care Service car is he'll be coming down there on lap 37. Here goes Steven Stippen. He traps Yarrow behind the other car for the pick, and there he goes by. What a move from Steven Stippen, now up to 3rd as Mark Whitley tries to run down Cody Dorsey. Dorsey coming by to complete lap 37 this time. 3 more laps, and he'll be able to make it to the end of this race with 1 stop.
2-for-1 pass right there. What a move by him, and then perfect timing to make that move and make that pass.
As you're right on board with Cody Dorsey here running the breast cancer awareness car here this week, and that's great to see they're here during this week of during this month of October here. People running the pink paint schemes out there, and definitely got to support that cause there in this 84. So he continues to try to stretch the fuel every bit he can drain out of this tank here. He's trying to do it, David, and man, he's done a good job so far of what he's been able to accomplish. It's just how much time is he losing saving, but you know, at the end of the day, this could be a top 5 decision for him.
Yeah, when he does decide to pit, you know, he's going to be one of the cars out there that has the freshest tires out there. So here he is coming down the pit road, get some new freshies on his car there, and get back on the track.
Oh man, that's going to complete 38 laps. So he's going to be 2 laps short here. So man, that so close for the 84 be able to make it. Looks like also, I believe that is, let's see which car. Sorry, it's Clifton Ashley. He's coming down too, but he's 3 laps down with that major nose damage. He's coming to pit road, but yeah, lap 39. I mean, we've seen the whole array of different strategies. I mean, Dave Bush, he comes down on lap 23. Then we have Cody Dorsey here come down on lap 38. I mean, it's a really wide spectrum there.
Yeah, definitely a wide spectrum. Just like you said, you know, we're seeing so many different strategies being played out, and it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out for them. James Bryant right now, he's picked up 9 spots, running in 5th place. I don't show that he's pitted yet.
I do not believe James Bryant has actually. Yeah, James Bryant still, has not pit, and I believe has Dakota Bryant pit. I don't think either of the Bryants have pit. So, yeah, these drivers here in 5th and 8th right now still electing to keep going on, and I tell you what, they're going to be able to one-stop it here because right now they're starting lap 40. They'll be coming down next time, and that means they'll have 40 laps to go, man. What a job by them to be able to stretch this fuel tank.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a phenomenal, you know, what they've been able to do, you know, to save that fuel to make it this far. So pretty impressive on the fuel saving. And now we just have to, you know, wait and see when they do pit and come back out is, you know, what kind of finish do they end up with running with this kind of, you know, this kind of strategy here, as we see that Mark Whitley, you know, he's got a 4-second lead over the 2nd place car of 81 of Steven.
Yeah, what a gap he's growed over Steven Stimpy. After all these pit stops continue to cycle through, we'll see James Bryant, I believe, and Dakota Bryant most likely electing to hit pit road this time. I mean, if they can stretch it one more lap, though, it won't be that bad. And yeah, James Bryant, he continues on. He's complete lap 40. He says, I'm going to do 41. Why not?
He must have a larger fuel tank than everybody else because he's been able to run much farther than everybody else.
Same with Dakota Bryant. I mean, the Bryans, they brought out the reserve tank here tonight as they continue on. And, you know, most people will be questioning, why are they not pitting? It's halfway. They made it to this point, you know, hit pit road now. Well, this is a smart decision for them. The longer they take it here, the less fuel they'll have to save to make it this final run. And that will determine really their pace and what positions they're able to keep. Because right now, you know, James Bryant right now running in that 5th position, started 14th. What a great climb that would be for him if he's able to bring home a top 5 tonight with this strategy. And even Dakota Bryant back here in 8th. And like you said, David, they're going to have the freshest tires on the track once they come back out. So they'll be able to make up some of this time they're losing here saving fuel.
Yeah, they're gonna have less fuel in there, so there'll be less weight on the car. New tires on there, better grip than everybody else when they do come back out. And you know, everybody else got to pit one more time.
That they do. Here's coming off of 4. Here comes Dakota Bryant in the 58. James Bryant ahead of him, also the 52. Both of them hit pit road. These are going to be the last 2 cars to hit pit road, so they're the only 2 that are able to make it to this distance here. You know, that means can Cody Dorsey save enough this next run to be able to stretch it? Because, you know, these guys almost stretched it a whole nother 2 laps. We'll see how it plays out for them here as they start to file down to their pit box and get their service done. But right now, Mark Whitley out front, 5-second lead back to Steven Stippy, 7 seconds back to Michael Yarrow, 15 back to Dave Bush, and another 20 back to Brandon Hartwell as our top 5 is all spread out here at the moment. We're going to head to a quick commercial break here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Again, thank you all for tuning in here tonight at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for Sim Racing Unleashes Cup Series. It's been a fantastic night of Gen 6 action. We'll be back in a few moments, ladies and gentlemen.
want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that McConey Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in iRacing. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flag Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at McConey Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, McConey Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to McConeySetupShop.com and learn why McConey Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at McConey Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
All right, we are back here, everybody, after that quick commercial break. Thank you all again for tuning here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. It's been a fantastic night of racing here so far. 47 laps in the books here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And we definitely want to give a shout out to our sponsors here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting who help make it all happen and keep the lights on for us for here at this beautiful broadcasting channel. As looks like the 70 there hit pit road too. But let's give a quick shout to ButtKicker here, as every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from the subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car, from ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. By moving a physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful base response, and it's all perfectly in sync with every game with no additional software required. So make sure you head on over to ButtKicker.com, where you can use our promo code FreakyFast20 to get 20% off of any purchase there at ButtKicker, and you can feel what you've been missing. And also remember, that's FreakyFast20 with 2 E's in the Freaky. So make sure you head on over there to ButtKicker.com and get yourself 20% off of anything you would desire. Also want to give a special shout out to the McConey Setup Shop. The McConey Setup Shop is your home for iRacing setups and the official setup shop of the Richmond Raceway Esports team, building the number 46 and 90 in the Coca-Cola iRacing series of Jimmy Mullis and Zach Novak. They've got everything from Legends to Cup cars. They've also got dirt setups for late models, modified wing sprints are available as well. You can head on over to www.McConeySetupShop.com today, where also you can get coaching lessons for just $25 an hour. But if you want their setups, you can use our promo code FFB10 to get 10% off of any setup purchase there at the McConey Setup Shop. And remember, at the McConey Setup Shop, there are setups, but they're your victories. Thank you to all the sponsors here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting and Sim Racing Unleashed. It's been a great night of racing here so far at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, David, as right now Whitley continuing to build that gap over Steven Stympian there in the second position. It's about 5.3 seconds. I mean, not too big of a build back there to him, but one driver I've noticed that we're missing now is Michael Yara. Looks like he is on pit road here in this 9 machine.
Yeah, I was watching, and he went down pit road, and his first pit stop was the 1490, which is faster than Mark and Steven. But on this last pit road entry, I don't know if he got a penalty because he's now been there for 1 minute and 34 seconds. So don't know if he had some kind of issue that went on there. But very long pit stop, unfortunately, for Mike Yarrow. Yeah,
he's continuing to sit there, David, and I'm unsure what's going on with that car. So maybe something has come up where he had to exit the sim, had to leave the racetrack. You know, sometimes that is the one thing about sim racing, man. You know, you're not strapped into a race car. Sometimes you're in your home and something comes up that you have to get up and take care of, and maybe that is what has happened to Michael Yara. I mean, you know, sometimes that can happen here. As we look at our leader, Mark Whitley, just an unfortunate case though from our Michael Yara. They're running so well though in that third position, and now we have actually passed for third too, as Brandon Hartwell was able to get around David Bush there to take third over. So Brandon Hartwell continued his charge up to the field.
Yeah, it's a really good racing going on here. And, you know, we talked about that before we went to break, just all the different strategies that these guys are playing out. You know, some elected to stay out as long as they possibly could, and miraculously saved a lot of fuel to be able to get over 40 laps before they pitted. But just talking about some of the pit times, where you can either lose time or gain time, and just keep an eye on Derek Love. He had a pit time of 14:77, and then Chuck a 14:77. So it looks like they had some of the best pit times out of anybody on this track.
Yeah, and one person I'm looking at, like you alluded to there, is Chuck Sweeting. I mean, man, he had to drop all the way back to 21st at the start of this race. Yeah, he's 33 seconds behind our leader, Mark Whitley, but he's still looking at possibly scoring a top 5. I mean, looking at the pace, too, that he has, he is one of the fastest cars on this racetrack, as Mark Whitley. You can see earlier, he is all in traffic here. He's in between Mike Chamberlain. He's got the 19 Jim Colmensberger. He's trying to put him a lap down. This is an interesting situation for the 77. He'll look to the inside, down the back straightaway. Does he have the position on the 19? Yes, he does here. As we'll head through 3, it looks like he'll possibly try to clear him there off of exit. Doesn't able to get it done, but he should be able to do it down to 4.
Yeah, I was kind of keeping an eye on that there. As Mark was approaching some of the lap down cars and stuff, and making that pass, and they're racing them hard. They're trying to do everything they can to stay in the lead lap, and rightfully so, for them to do that. But I'm sure Steven was hoping that they would battle a little bit harder so he can close up some more time.
Yeah, Steven Stippian definitely was hoping for a little bit more time lost, and definitely lost some time. That was about really about an 0.8 of a second difference there, almost in lap time between the top 2 there. So great job by Stippian to close in a little bit of that gap while he was battling with those 2 lap cars who are now battling each other. And that's not for position. Mike Chamberlain 3 laps down, the Jim Colmensberger's 1 lap down. So definitely a different battle there going on. But yeah, getting back to Chuck Sweeting, what a drive for him up to that 5th position now, even as I think Dave Bush on pit road.
Yep, Dave Bush making his probably his final stop here of the race, and he made an earlier stop, so he made his bid about making at least a two-stop race here. So we'll see how it shakes out for him. But Jim also had a pit stop. His last pit stop was a 15:42.
And yeah, Dave Bush there, like we were talking about, I mean, just hit pit road this time here. He stretched it a little bit farther than he did that first run. 23 laps on the first run. This run definitely stretching it longer as he got to that 53 mark there, as he'll be exiting off pit road. Now is old Derek Love there from the 4th spot. He's coming down pit road. A very close battle between him there, getting down on that access road to hit pit road. But yeah, Dave Bush, he's going to have to stretch it farther than he's went all night, but it's still only around that 28 lap mark. That's still not the farthest distance we've seen all night, so he will be plenty good to the end, but definitely trying to get that good undercut.
Yeah, and then we're going to see how that all plays out for some of the drivers that were able to make it like I think it was 41, 42 laps before they pitted. So see how it plays out for him here. We know that Mark and Steven will be coming down pit road and making another stop. Those other guys that stayed out for lap 41 or lap 39, I think it was. Whether or not they're going to be able to go ahead and make it the rest of the way on their last pit stop.
And we got a good question out there in chat from one of our moderators, Brandon Colley, one of our former commentators up here. He's talking about that strategy of doing, the extra stop versus the 1 stop like some of the other drivers are doing. And, he's saying if you don't have, great pace already, the 1 stop probably is not going to pan out. And, yeah, I think it's not going to pan out for a win for anybody tonight. But I very well could see that 1 stop panning out to be, a good solid top 10, maybe top 5 for James Bryant or Dakota Bryant. So we'll have to see, how it works out for him there. But yeah, definitely interesting strategies playing here out, as I think our leaders, David, they're most likely going to be coming down around lap 60, I imagine, with about 20 to go.
Yep, about five away from when we might see him coming down pit road here. And Mark Willie went ahead and stretched out that lead over Steve Sippian back up to 6.2. So they got within about 5 seconds. So when Mark was passing some of the lap down cars, but he's been able to stretch it back out.
Oh, another driver just exiting pit road. That's the 77 of Chuck Sweeten. He pit from the 4th position after climbing his way up through the field. He'll be coming out after getting service done on that 75 machine. What a run for him to climb it back up here. Now as we look up to Cody Dorsey, as he's in that 6th position. Remember, he was a driver who stretched it to 38. We see Dakota Bryant and James Bryant stretch at 41. can someone stretch it 42? Because that would be the distance that Dorsey would need to do it to make it on that one stop he's already made. That is going to be a tough thing to do, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough thing to do. And just keep an eye on Jason Adams there on the 24, up 16 positions. He's still going to have another pit stop to make, but so far running inside the top 5.
Yeah, very good run for Jason as Dorsey seems to catch up just a little bit, couple hundredths a lap there as you see Dorsey back there from that 24. So that's our end of our top 5 there. And the only top 5 on the lead lap right now is a lot of different strategies playing out. And that's one thing, you come to Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you see a lot of different strategies playing out as Dave Bush trying to work his way up after his pit stop there on lap 52. So he's now back up to 7th and trying to take the 6th position from Cheswick there as now he gets by him down to 3, back up to 6 for Dave Bush. Bush is looking at a good solid top 5 here tonight, and what a, somewhat of a quiet night for a top 5 for him.
Yeah, definitely a quiet night for him. And but as far as the points go, you might not be able to pull off the win, but you could end up having a pretty good points day, to continue on his points run for the season. Then just keep an eye on Mark there. He's the only driver right now that hasn't pitted that is still running in 54-second lap time.
Yeah, he's looking so strong tonight in that 77. I mean, he's opened up that 6.5 second gap back to Steven Stipping in the 81, and really from there, even the Brandon Hartwell, who was our 3rd place man, just on that was pretty much merit. He's 29 seconds back. I mean, these top 2, it's a big gap back to Steven Stipping, but it's a gigantic gap back to 3rd place there. So these top 2 on their marks here tonight at this racetrack.
Yeah, definitely laying some impressive lap time between these 2 drivers. And been doing it consistently all race long. We've got 22 to go. It's going to come down to these 2 guys, but as far as Mark goes, I think Steve's going to need Mark to make a mistake, whether it's on his last pit stop or somewhere on the track before he's going to be able to catch back up to Mark.
There you see Brandon Hartwell getting passed by the lap machines. That 00 Randy Pierre, the 58 and Dakota Bryant here goes by. Remember, he was a driver who was able to stretch it far enough, and him and James Bryant right now, both those making it lap 41. They're in the 11th and 15th positions respectively, and I tell you what, once the pit stops all cycle through, they should cycle somewhere in the top 5 once this all gets said and done. But can they hold that spot is going to be the big question a lot of people have on their minds. But 22 to go. If you haven't made a pit stop yet, I would be thinking you're wanting to get on pit road now.
Yeah, I was just running that through my mind. You were talking about maybe with 20 to go, we might see the leaders there coming in the pit road. So we're at 21 to go, so we could be seeing them coming down pit road any time.
Very well could be, as you see Hartwell still continuing that 25. I mean, what a crazy race it's been for him as he was driving up from that 11th position up to 3rd. Just hasn't had somewhat of the long run pace here tonight in that 25, but he's had good enough pace to be able to break into this top 5, hold himself up there, and continue to show out as he looks to bring home a good finish here in the first outing in the Gen 6 Cup Series car. Is man, oh man, right now the top 5 still is the only drivers on the lead lap as we continue to race around this giant 2.5 mile racetrack.
Yeah, and still looking at Mark Whitley's time, still running in the 54-second mark. So that's pretty impressive for as many laps as we've had for him to still remain in the 54-second time. So everybody else is running 55-25, 55-68. So heck of a job for him to be able to run as fast as he is and still take care of his equipment.
20 to go, and Steven Stipping, he's had enough. He says, I'm coming to pit road to get service done. Same with Jason Adams in the 24. Clinton Ashley in the 10 also on pit road. So multiple drivers hit pit road here as Steven Stipping is going to get work done on his race car. I believe Whitley, if not this time, he'll be down in a few more laps. With the 6-second gap he had, he has some breathing room to be able to stretch it a little bit farther and still have the fresh tires when he comes out.
Yeah, that he does. But it'd be curious to see, how long does he wait before he pits. So, as we mentioned earlier, Mark does, he runs his race. He doesn't let other people affect, his strategy. So he does his thing. It's worked out for him, this season already. And, he's on the drive for 3 in a row. So, we're seeing here the car we were just riding along there that they got a little damage there on that right front corner panel there. We're just going to make it really hard on to tighten that car up in the corner. So got his work cut out for him for the rest of this race.
Yeah, well, what a start to the season it's been for that 77 after Dave Bush winning at Daytona and just the dominance shown from Smoke Inc. We go to Chicagoland where really Mark didn't dominate the race. He only led 16 laps during that whole entire event, and it was really the last 16 laps of the race. So, not the most dominant performance from him. Yeah, he started on pole in that race, but was quickly taking the lead away from him as the teammates at Smokey and Steven Stimpy and Hunter Hayward and Dave Bush were really working well, but they got caught out on strategy where Whitley really had them, just in a really good spot to win that race where he did it. And then last week, just a dominant performance. 170 laps led at Phoenix, and this is going to go right back into that category of a dominant performance because, man, I don't know how many laps he's led here tonight, but it's been a majority of them.
Keeping an eye on Cody Dorsey, we know that he last pitted on lap 38. Just shy of making it halfway, so waiting to see what he's able to do. I just don't see him being able to make it without going down to another pit stop there. But so far, running in the third position right now, have a good run, and we're watching Dave Bush now, sitting in fourth place.
Yeah, my question with here 19 to go for someone like Dorsey. Oh, there he comes, everybody. He answers my question quickly. So, ask the question, get the answer you shall receive. And, man, I tell you, well, true, my producer just said I didn't ask the question. The question was going to be is if you're one of these guys in this position where, you're going to be a couple laps short, 1 or 2 laps short from making it to the distance, do you stretch it still to that point to risk it for a caution? Because if you get a caution in those final 5 laps, and I'm Mark Whitley or Steven Stippian, who, just come down the pit road here on lap 20, with 20 or 15 lap old tires, I'm coming back down to get my last set. And look at that. Yellow flag is out on the race surface.
Oh, here we go. We're going to go ahead and get some guys to come down pit road, and, they're going to get some fresh tires on here and re-rack them, one more time with, probably less than 15 laps to go by the time we go to green.
And it looks like it was problems for the 52 of James Bryant, and oh man, he got some major help as man, that's the first caution night. You're going to go back here on the Freaky Fast replay and see exactly what happened. That's Brandon Hartwell there behind him, and I don't know if Hartwell was just trying to push him to help him, but that was not much of a help or push because he just pushed him into the wall and then spun him down the racetrack, completely destroying that 52 machine. And man, if you're James Bryant, you're definitely not happy about that situation.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. If he just made a little bit of move to the inside sooner than what he was expecting to, and caught him on the left rear and turned him right into the wall. But yeah, he's definitely not going to be happy with what transpired there, and his car is definitely banged up pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know if that goes back to something else, but yeah, I mean I can't put that down other than Hartwell just being upset about something because. He ran him down from almost a second back that lap, and just it seems like once he got to him, instead of going to the inside, he just decided to drive through him on the straightaway. So unfortunate there for James Bryant, who was going to make it on fuel. That's all flipped everything upside down on its head here. Is now look at this coming to pit road. Steven Stippian says, "You know what, Mark Whitley, I'm coming down to get my last set. It don't matter if I pitted 3 laps ago."
Yeah, you got that tires sitting in pit road. Might as well go ahead and put them to use. And we're gonna be interesting to see now when we go ahead and get everybody realigned up and get that green flag back out there. Is all that time difference? 13, 11 seconds, 5 seconds, all that is gone. So we're gonna be coming back down with not too many laps left, and these guys are gonna be aggressive now because now. This is where you have to pounce. You have to make every pass you possibly can. So we're in for a very interesting finish.
That we are. Right now, looking at this too, I believe we've had 4 drivers technically stay out here, and I believe that's going to be Mark Whitley, Brandon Hartwell, Jason Adams, and Cody Dorsey. If you're Cody Dorsey, you feel pretty good. He was on pit road as that yellow happened, was able to stay on the lead lap, luckily, as the yellow came out, and cycle himself up to the top 5 now. Jason Adams, he pit on last lap, or really on the last time was lap 60. So he had about 2 laps of up to speed on those tires. So not too bad for that 24 also. But yeah, man, this is going to change a lot of things up. Steven Stippian looks like he's going to restart in 5th with those brand new tires. Ah, man, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it is known to be pretty heavy on the tire wear for how high speed and how flat these corners are. This could work out for the 81. You never know here. And also, cannot forget on Chuck Sweeting. He was very quick in qualifying and very quick tonight, but just had those internet issues to start the race. He dropped back to 21st. Now he's in the top 5 trying to fight for a win.
Yeah, and this might not be the last caution we see. You know, we saw these guys here that created this caution here. If there's something brewing there, you know, we could see some tight racing there to you know, to try and you know, do a little payback maybe. But we might not be seeing our last caution.
Yeah, it's very well. You know, they say cautions breed cautions here, and we'll see if that is the case here. Is, you know, Whitley, I like the call from him to stay out. You know, no reason for him to pit. He had one lap really up the speed on those tires. I think Mark Whitley, just from the dominant pace we've seen from him tonight, I don't think he'll be in too big an issue, especially he's got 3 cars there to help him. Yeah, it's 15 to go. It's a good bit of time here for Stympian to get around those 3 cars. But I'm going to tell you what, those 3 cars are going to be very difficult because those 3 cars are on not very old tires. So it's not going to be easy passes for the 81. You know, it's not 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 laps of difference here. This is 3 laps of difference almost. So I don't know if it's going to play out for the 81, the Steven Stympian, but I think he just threw Hail Mary. He knew that 77 was so strong tonight that if he didn't try something different, he may be sitting in second in either way.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. You know, Mark's been showing great speed all night long, and you know, you got to do something different as a leader. You know, to have that advantage and try and find an advantage that maybe he doesn't have. So it's only 1 lap difference, but I think he did what he had to do to try and give himself the best opportunity to try and shoot for the win. But yeah, he's gonna have to. You know, it's not very many cars like you said, but he's still gonna have to fight through some of the traffic cars to be able to try and catch back up to Mark.
And it looks like James Bryant there in the 52. It looks like he's still up there, and man, his front end is gone. So you know the old adage, cautious breed cautions. That right there may be the breeder of the caution right there, because that car is not going to be very fast, and I'm unsure why he did this.
Yeah, it looks like he's opted to go ahead and race with the modified look.
You know, I don't want to say it's maybe to get revenge on a 25 car they're sitting on the outer row, but we'll have to see. Crazier things have happened in my time here broadcasting. We'll have to see as the pace car pulls off. Mark Whitley going to start from the lead here. See what he can produce in the final 15 laps. A dominant performance he's had all night. There he goes, green flag in the air. Great start. Look at Steven Stympian. He jumps from the top down to the bottom here to follow Jason Adams. What's going to be the lane that goes down in 1?
Yeah, coming into lane 1, Mark hugging the bottom line there, and Hartwell hanging out to the outside.
Hartwell hanging on the outside door. Can't get it done, though, is Whitley going to take the lead off of turn number 2. He's now going to snake down this back straight, try to break the draft. You see as they go low, he goes high. As look at this battle, 3 wide. Cody Dorsey ahead of him, Dave Bush, the 87 Derek Love, and the 00 Randy Peer down to the 3.
And here we go with this 14 laps to go, 3 wide. And one of the cars there got a little bit, I don't know if there was contact there with the 53 or not, but he ended up having to go up a little bit and lost a few positions there.
Yeah, definitely some contact between the 87 and that 53. Dave Bush not going to be definitely happy about that, as he was having a fantastic run here tonight. Is now the snaking down the front straightaway continues to get more and more, as Steven Stympian now up to the 4th position. Chuck Sweeten also on the new tires up to 5th. Here goes Steven Stympian on Jason Adams down through the short chute into turn 3. Big power move from the 81.
Yeah, he's doing exactly what he needs to do, is make quick work of the cars that were in front of him and trying to give himself enough time to chase down Mark Whitley if that's possible.
And look at this, Chuck Sweeten now in that 75. He's directly behind here now, trying to get by the 24 Jason Adams, who really washes up the racetrack. Now is Chuck Sweeten's going to take 4th from Jason Adams now, as he continues to rebound from that position.
Yeah, what a fantastic recovery by him. You know, had some issues early on in the race there. You'll be able to hang around, get that timely caution for him as we see these guys doing the snake maneuver coming down the front stretch.
And right now, Whitley's starting to open up the gap, as now Steven Stympian all over the back bumper of Brandon Hartwell through the short chute down to turn 2. Can he make something happen? Hartwell loose on entry there. He's going to slide up the racetrack here. This is going to get Stippy and probably a good little exit here. Big run from the 81 now as Mark really up front trying to break the draft. Stippy is going to side draft this 25 and get a big run here and ahead of Steve heading down to 3.
Yeah, Steven's last lap time was 52.09 compared to Mark Whitley of a 52.37. So he's definitely putting his tires to work right now as we're clicking off laps down to 12 to go.
12 to go, coming to 11 to go here as we cross the start finish line here in the next few moments. Who's going to kiss the yard of bricks? We're going to have to see here as we got 11 laps to go. Whitley, you can see, I mean, this ain't a straightaway. This is a curved away because he is just going left and right trying to break the draft. But I tell you what, those new tires are definitely coming into fruition. As Stippy now with the draft has really sucked it up. He's only 3/10 back, only 3 car lengths. This is going to be a battle.
Yeah, his last lap was 2/10 faster than Mark. But, yeah, Mark's doing everything he can to try and break the draft as we see him doing the rattlesnake maneuver here, just trying to break the draft ever so slightly, trying to get as much advantage as possible.
11 to go. Whitley out front. Here comes the 81 Stippy. Here comes the 75. Chuck Sweeten to the inside of Brandon Hartwell here. Down into 4. He's going to make the pass for that 3rd place position. What a drive for Chuck Sweeten, back from 21st all the way to 3rd now as this group continues to battle. I mean, I like that Whitley's trying to break the draft, but I feel like he's also slowed himself down just a little bit by scrubbing speed there. You know, it's one thing to snake, but going back and forth about 5 times, that's where you start to scrub the speed.
Yeah, it's a little bit more than what you would normally see, but you know, when you're in the lead and you're just you see that guy come in your mirror, you try to do everything you can to break that draft, and that's what we're seeing Mark do right now. Just anything and everything he can do to try and break it. But you know, Steven is just 52. This last lap was a 52.51, and Mark's with the 52.67. So still running faster than he is and closing that gap down.
Yeah, look at even Chuck Sweeten. He's coming into the picture here as they're becoming to 9 to go this time by. You know, even Whitley, I got to wonder, does, you know, the way he's moving back and forth like that, it's almost kicking the rear down the straightaways. Does he heat the tires up here? And that causes an effect to where he gets loose. As, man, there's a gaggle back there for position. That's Jason Adams holding all that up. In 24th is Cody Dorsey, the 00 Randy Peer. Here's the 87 of Derek Love, the 58 of James or Dakota Bryant. I mean, it's everybody in this field right on top of each other.
Yeah, these guys, it's a race within inside a race. These guys are trying to fight for every position because every point matters in this league.
That it does. Every point going to matter when we come down to the end of the season. Look at a run from Dorsey here to the back bumper. What a great run to that 00 as he pushes him into the corner to 0. 00 Randy Pierre, he's going to clear for that 5th position as he almost gets to the wall. Dakota Bryant into 58. They go 3 wide down into the corner. Dave Bush trying to make a position out of this. He gets a little tap for the 58. This is wild.
These guys are definitely putting on their show, and if you want to know whether these positions matter, all these positions matter, and these guys are showing that they are fighting tooth and nail for everything they can get. And these guys were on fresh tires, so they're trying to get it done while they have the fresh tires.
And while all this is happening, the battle for the lead is starting to heat up a little bit. Steven Stippian now within a couple car lengths. Same with Chuck Sweeting here. I mean, look at this. They're going back and forth here, and man, this is getting so interesting with 8 to go. It's all over the place here in Indianapolis.
You know, I'm wondering if Stippian and Chuck would just stay in line with each other and let Mark go ahead and try that maneuver, if they would still wouldn't be able to catch him because of the draft of those two.
I think you're exactly right about that, David. I think don't play his game. Don't play that follow back and forth like this. Just get you out of your rhythm, heading down to the corner. Just stick up top. Try to get the good run down the straight, you know, the normal way, and maybe that'll work out. But he's tried everything in his power to use that draft. I mean, it's tough not to want to use that draft.
Yeah, it is. And I think we just saw here where Chuck decided not to follow him left and right the whole way, and you know, I think that you know, again, yeah, there's Chuck kind of staying midline. So if they are swerving back and forth, you know, that he's able to close that gap up a little bit. But yeah, these two guys, actually all three of them, you know, 53.16, 53.15, and Chuck running a 53.10. Oh,
Stippy's so close to the wall there on exit, and we have a caution out on the racetrack. second caution of the night, and this has changed everything with 7 to go. Dave Bush, no, in the 53, our winner from Daytona. It looks like it's all gone in shambles here for him on the back straightaway.
Unfortunately for him, was having a really good run, and yeah, just unfortunately that he got caught up in that, and just last caution here. We'll have well, I shouldn't say last caution because we're going to re-rack these guys and restack these guys and make another run at it. But yeah, we see here that yep, just got turned there. Looks like he was trying to block, but unfortunate for him for this run here. Sure, he's not going to be happy about that.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Dave Bush. I mean, what a ride for him there. Looks like he was going to block the move from Dakota Bryant. Dakota Bryant makes that second move, then tries to come out side draft. I don't know if he just misjudged the side draft, didn't know where the 53 was, but he just hooks him with the quarter panel there, turns him down, and man, that was a ride if there ever was, and you got to feel for Dave Bush there, who's on pit road towing right now. He's probably using that fast repair, but having to wait out that tow is here. We're going to ride on board with this beautiful shot, but not beautiful for Dave Bush's look. He goes backwards in the car, just hits the grass, lifts up, and now he's along for the ride. Man, that's a scary shot to see his cars going by here on the racetrack. Luckily, everybody gets by, but major collision with the wall.
Yeah, just on for the ride there. Once the car got sideways, he just has no control, no way to stop this. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting a little motion sickness watching all this spinning. But yeah, just unfortunate into his run. Coming to the end with less than 6 laps to go.
Now this is very interesting. We just had looks like Mark Whitley hit pit road here with 5 to go. I am a little bit shell shocked by this. He'll probably at most have to restart back in the 8th position. I would believe is what it's going to look like. It looks like 8th is where he'll restart. But man, that's a tough decision to make if you're Mark Whitley there. I mean, you also got to think about the tires cool down a good bit under these caution laps. You pick up a good bit of lap time. And if you're Steven Stimpy and them, I mean, yeah, you got probably 10 laps on your tires now of good pace, hard ran on them. But, you see, I mean, it's just so tough to get by somebody when they're out front with that clean air. Mark Whitley was doing such a good job to defend it. They were close to him, but I felt like that cooldown phase was going to help him there. Now he comes off pit road. He's going to be in the 8th position along with Brandon Hartwell, new tires. I mean, if anything happens, he gets caught up in a wreck here. This is a risky call from this 77.
Risky it is for sure, and we saw earlier in the last caution where there was like a 1 or 2 lap difference between Steven and Mark when Steven decided to come down. Well, this is a little bit different story, and he's going to have a little bit fresher tires. It's going to be less than 3 laps to go or so before we go back to green. But he's, like you said, he's going to have to work his way through traffic, and at this point of the race, everyone's going to be fighting for every position, so it's going to make it a little more difficult, or could make it a little more difficult for Mark. But I say that with the tongue-in-cheek because he is the 2-time champion, going for his 3rd time. So yeah, who am I to question what he does? He's definitely has a strategy. So this could be another great move for him if he can keep his nose clean and not get wrapped up in somebody else's wreck.
Yeah, and I think you allude to it. It's going to be most likely 3 to go here. When we take this screen, I believe the light should cut out on the pace car this time. We'll have to see if they do, but I got to use the quote from Tyler out in the chat. This could be the best move ever for Mark Whitley or the absolute worst. I mean, this could really, the only way this works, I think, is if he gets a green-white checkered attempt. I just don't see it happening if we stay green. I've seen crazier things happen, but man, like going back and looking at the pace right there, I mean, even right there down to the end, yeah, we were looking at about a half a second to about almost a second of fall off there. But I'm telling you, these cooldown laps right here under pace laps, you're going to gain a few tenths back for at least the first 2 laps. It's really going to be that 3rd lap that's going to be the issue for these guys. But man, if you're Steven Stimpy, I'm licking my chops right now. I'm saying, man, I got clean air. I just have to clear the 75 down in the 1 and 2, and I feel like I'll be able to get this done.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see Steven's response or his reaction when he saw Mark Whitley going down to the pit road. Was he feeling pretty confident that maybe that could have been the move that allows him to walk away with the win here?
Oh man, this is going to be fun to watch coming down to the end. Thank you all for really, just riding along with us through this wild night here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Going the first portion of this race completely green. Now we've had a bunch of two cautions to shake it all up. This is the strategy we love to see. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up button because it's about to get spicy out here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all again, though, for tuning in.
It is going to get spicy as we get ready to go with 3 laps left. And, these guys, again, they're going to be fighting for every position. That's going to make it even more challenging for Mark. So here we go. We'll be able to see how this plays out.
Pace cars in. Steven Stippian leading the way along with Chuck Sweeten. Mark Whitley starting from the 8th position on new tires. He's going to be the first one there. We're in the restart zone. And green flag is out. Great start for Chuck Sweeten on the top side. Who's going to have the help, though? Dakota Bryant closer to the 5th, the 81 as we head down the 1. Whitley going to be stuck up on the top side as he drops down low, entering the first corner here. Looks like Chuck Sweeten going to fight hard around the outside.
Yeah, we can't count out Chuck. He's had some adversity this race, but he's been able to make it back up towards the front, and now racing for the lead.
Looks like Whitley here's right on board with him. He's trying to make the move, the 0-0 there. Randy Fear making a move on Derek Love as he slides up into him. That's going to open up the door for the 77. This is opened everything up. I think this is the key, though. It all got really spread out there. Let Whitley get the passes done. He's going to come here now to the back end of Dakota Bryant. I think almost a done deal at this point. Whitley most likely will catch at this point, but will he get the pass done? 2 to go here at the Yard of Bricks here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
What a break for Mark there, just to be able to pass 2 cars right there in that corner. And that's probably something Steve did not want to see. He was hoping they would hold him up, much longer. But Mark's going to be able to hold that lower line much better and work his way around the 58 car there. But Mark's not racing with love right now. He's racing to try and get his way back up to the front and to try and get that win back.
And look at this, Dakota Bryant, though, holding strong in that 58. He gets a little bump from the 77. Now that's going to move him up the racetrack. The racing battle with Jason Adams and the rest of the field is getting pretty tight, too, as we come out of turn 4. 3 wide there between Brandon Hartwell and the rest of the field. As we come out of 4, we're going to see the white flag one final time here to go at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This white flag is brought to you by Freaky Fast Broadcasting. If you want to get your name or your logo up on our white flag, then hit us up on our social medias because we got 1 to go here at Indianapolis. And I don't think Whitley's going to get there. He's had a tough time getting around Dakota Bryant now as Chuck Sweeting and Steven Stippian, I think, are going to battle for the win.
Yeah, Mark just having to battle real hard with Dakota Bryant over there, and just cost him some time and an opportunity to work his way back up to the front, but he's now cleared him. So now we'll see what he's going to be able to do, but I don't know if he's going to have enough time.
Doesn't look like he will. He's driving deep into 3, though. He's going to have a pretty good run on Chuck Sweeten coming out of the corner. He gets into the wall. It's going to go all over here from now. Stippian down into 4. One final time tonight. Hasn't got a win yet. Came in here tied for the points lead. It's Steven Stippian. Like he's going to steal it here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and he is going to win here tonight.
What a race, and I tell you, Steve has got to be very happy with the way this all played out, and same with Chuck. A great recovery for him. It would have been interesting to see what would have happened in this race if he didn't have that issue early on, but congratulations to the 81 of Steven Stippian picking up his win here, and just unfortunate there as you saw Mark making contact with the outside wall.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate scenes there as I tell you what, it just shows you giving up that track position is never the smart thing to do. Whitley going to come home 3rd. Chuck Sweeten going to come home 2nd. But this man here we're watching, he's the big guy of the night. He's the winner, and he's going to kiss the bricks as he comes down here. And Mark Whitley's got to be so upset with himself. But I tell you what, Steven Stippian is going to say, well, I remember Chicagoland where I dominated, and you stole one from me. Tonight's my chance to steal one from you as he's going to come down here on the Yard of Bricks and celebrate.
Yeah, Steve Stippian led the lap that mattered, and that's the last couple of laps here. And as you see it, we see him celebrating. But yeah, I'm sure that Mark's got to be a little bit frustrated just with how it ended for him. Just put out a dominating performance all race long. But sometimes strategies work out and sometimes they don't. And this time it didn't work out for Mark, but did work out for Steven.
That it did there as he celebrates on the yard of bricks. The 81 of Steven Stipien gets his first win of the season here in race number 4 of the Sim Racing Unleashed Cup Series. Congrats to him. We'll be back in a few moments, ladies and gentlemen, as we get our top 3 up here and ask them what went down here in the final moments of this wild, wild finish. We'll be back in a few. All right, we are back here, everybody, for our post-race interviews after tonight's wild finish here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We got our third place man, the guy who was dominant tonight, coming in here looking for 3 in a row wins. Just couldn't get it done. The strategy at the end comes up to bite him. We'll see what he has to say here in the 77 as he comes up 2 spots short from going 3 in a row. Hey, Mark and Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yep, got you loud and clear.
Well, but I tell you what, man, unfortunate circumstance there, man. Sometimes you just the calls don't fall your way after a dominant performance trying to go for 3 in a row, man. Tell us what the decision was to come down pit road there at the end.
Yeah, well, I figured we had enough laps left. I was kind of hoping we might have 1 or 2 more, but I figured, 3, 4 laps, fresh tires, almost 10 laps fresher, wouldn't be no big deal. And on the restart, we got a good jump and was able to get down to the bottom. And going on the back straightaway, 2 cars in front of me pretty much took themselves out of the way for me. I got to run, and I don't know, the last couple laps, had to play Mr. Nice Guy. Dakota, I know he's trying to hold on for what he's got, but there's so many times I could have probably sent him into the moon just trying to lift. I didn't want to take him out, get up under him, but I mean, it's into the race, so it kind of happens, but it's just a little frustrating when you lead so much of the race and got the freshest tires at the end and don't want to run over anybody, but you also just kind of want to be able to get up and go and do what you can. And on the last lap, I finally got by him because I finally just kind of got fed up and just shoved my nose underneath him, and the tires held it. And thought maybe I had a shot of him. I went down into 3 ahead of just a great run, but I got a little bit too. I was a little bit, I think, driving a little bit too angry and got on the gas a little bit too soon and just killed the wall off of 3, and that just killed any momentum I would have had trying to get up with Stimp or Sweeting. So it sucks. It's racing. It happens. Good calls the last couple weeks put me in a good position to win. I still don't think this is a bad call. It's just kind of, racing. There won't really a outside lane to go around the traffic, so it is what it is. We'll pack it up, take a third, and go on to Kentucky and see what we can do there.
Yeah, man, definitely, unfortunate there for you, like you said, after a dominant performance. But like you said, we head off to Kentucky next week. You had a good showing here in the Gen 6 car once again. So how do you feel about heading off into Kentucky, especially with the change coming with that Gen 6 car going to be the car there?
Yeah, well, Kentucky's always hit or miss for me, honestly. Sometimes I'm really on my game there. Sometimes track just kind of confuses me, but should be interesting. I feel like it'd be a little bit more racing, less pack racing, kind of like it was at Chicagoland. So we'll find out. Hopefully, maybe we'll have a few more of the notable people in here. I know Hayward's missed the last couple weeks, and Leffler's been dealing with an illness. So hope the best to him. Hope he's doing good. It's gonna be interesting, but I'm liking the change. Obviously, it fits my driving style more. I don't really like pack racing, no matter where it's at. So I like the change. I know some people don't, but we'll just roll with it and just run whatever they tell us to run and try to see if we can't get another win.
Well, man, I tell you what, you've been on a roll heading up to this point, 3 poles in a row, almost 3 wins in a row. We'll have to see what you can do at Kentucky, man. Before we let you get out of here and go off and get ready for Kentucky, man, anybody wants to send a shout to?
Yes, give a quick shout out. My sponsor, Harpoon Designs. Anybody tuning in, needing a paint scheme made, hit him up. He's got some awesome work. Can't thank him enough for coming on board this season. And got to thank my parents, always tuning in. Well, parents, grandparents, and pretty much the whole family that, wonderful fiance in there in the living room, probably laughing at me for this interview, but, it is what it is. And then for y'all putting on a great broadcast week in and week out. It's always fun to go back and watch, no matter what happens in the race.
Well, Mark, we appreciate it, buddy. You have a fantastic night, and we'll catch you back out here at Kentucky.
All right, sounds good, Zach. See you later.
All right, everybody. That was our third place man of Mark Whitley. After a dominant performance, that 77 just comes up short there in that third position. Now we're going to move on to the driver who had to go from the front to the back and now back up to the front there, Chuck Sweeting. Good to see him get a top 3 here at Sim Racing Unleashed. Let's hear from the 75 of Chuck Sweeting. Hey, Chuck, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man.
Hey, Zach, how's it going?
It's going great. Great to hear you again, Chuck, man. Long time no talk, man. But I tell you what a great run for yourself tonight. Had some network issues there at the beginning. Had to drop to the back. But, man, you never gave up, and you were able to come home here with the second. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's quite. It feels like I accomplished something. That was so frustrating. You know what it's like. But yeah, just the internet just would not clear up for me till like lap 30, and then I was able to go and got a lucky caution there, one point, and caught back up to the leader as I was nearly 40 seconds behind him at one point, I think. But it was fun racing at the end there. The different tire strategies, and just congrats to Steven on the win. And boy, Mark is just fast every week. It's going to be tough to beat him at any track. So yeah, I had a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, definitely a good show, man, and a good comeback for you. Never want to see those issues happen for somebody, but man, you rebounded perfectly tonight in that 75 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Now we're going to head off to the Kentucky Speedway next week, man, and we're back in the Gen 6 car as they've changed it up now. So every track over a mile now is going to be these Gen 6 Cup Series cars, man. How does that feel, and how do you feel about Kentucky?
Yeah, I'm glad they're doing that. Kentucky will be a lot of fun too. It's a good track. The next gen cars, I know it's still in development, but it needs a lot of work. It's just not really ready for weekly competition. There's some places where it's good to run it, and some where there's not. So I'm happy with what the league's doing here. Kentucky will be a lot of fun though. That track has been updated, and it's a little different, and it's a fun 1.5 mile track.
Yeah, it's definitely be fun to watch you guys do battle there next week, man. But I gotta say, congrats on second here tonight, Chuck. It was fun watching you come from the back to the front, man. After unfortunately running through those problems, but it definitely was a story nonetheless for you, man. But before we let you get out here, Chuck, and get ready for Kentucky next week, anybody you want to send a shout out to, man?
I just want to thank my fan Joy, and thank Gil for the paints that he does for me over at Gator Racing. I have an alliance with them, and just thanks to all the admins and with the league that do all the hard work to put the show on.
Well, thank you very much, Chuck, for bringing it home in second tonight to be able to talk with us, man. You have a great night, and we'll catch you in Kentucky, man.
All right, thanks a lot, Zach.
All right, that was our second place man of Chuck Sweeting. What a drive it was for that driver, but our driver of the night and the driver who stole it at the end, going to be able to kiss the yard of bricks here at the J&S Lawn Service 200. Steven Stippian, he's our race winner. Let's hear from him. Hey, Steven, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy.
Zach, I got a copy, buddy.
Well, I tell you what, man, this right here just makes me look back to Chicagoland. We looked at Whitley, his dominant performance here tonight. You had a dominant performance there, Chicagoland. He steals one from you there. How does it feel to steal this one from him here tonight, Indianapolis?
It feels really good. I'll tell you, I was hyped when I pulled that off. I didn't expect that. It was tough getting used to the package tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely was a interesting battle, like ebb and flow all the night. Take us through that first run. It seems like some portions you could catch him for a little bit, and then it just seemed like then you'd lose a little bit of time. It was definitely very close between you and Whitley. It just seemed like those first 10 laps he was able to gap you.
Yeah, I decided to play my usual lay back, take it easy, save the tires, and I was just having such a hard time going into 2 and coming off 2. That was my worst corner of the night. For some reason, I just couldn't get it, and then finally got it towards the end of the night. I was arcing in too much, too high. Is what I felt like. I was actually just talking to Whitley about that, because he was gaining. I was watching my relative. He was gaining off me every time I got into 2 and off 2. He was gaining on me, but then I'd catch him and make up the time in the 3 and 4 and 1. So 2 was my worst spot of the night. I actually was very, very very down most of that race. I was like, here we go. I can't get this. I can't catch him. It's I was trying everything in my power, playing with the brake bias, pitting, trying to undercut him a little bit. But then that last caution came out, and second to last caution came out, and I decided to go in. I was like, this is my gamble. It's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay off. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Well, man, it definitely paid off there. Kind of ask you also, how surprised were you there to see him pit? Because it caught me off guard up here because it seemed like he was able to keep like still good pace with you guys, and it was relatively not too big of a tire difference. Were you surprised when he came down pit road?
No, I knew he was going to. I kind of baited him for a while on that second last caution, seeing try to hold him off as much as I can on the out, and then duck in so he didn't come in. But that second to last run, it was just the air, the dirty air, just trying to get a run on him. I was able to. It's just you suck up to him, you weren't able to get the run off. I think if it stayed green, I would have probably been able to. Hopefully, who knows? But it was tough once you got behind him.
Definitely was tough to pass here tonight once you got up to that leader, man. But you were able to get it done here, win tonight here at Indianapolis, first win of the season. And man, you entered here tied in points also with Mark. How does it feel to come out of here with the win, man? Because that's big momentum heading through the rest of the season, and your 4th top 5 of the season. I mean, you're definitely bringing the consistency.
Yeah, it feels great, man. I like I said, I was totally surprised to pull that off. I think that might be the happiest I think I've ever been winning a race, because I didn't expect to win that race. And actually, a couple seasons ago, I had this paint scheme, the Bass Pro Shops. It was lucky for me then. Pulled off a win at Indy, brought it back to this race, and hey, it was good luck. Good luck charm tonight.
Well, man, I tell you what, you're going to bring that good luck charm back next time when we come to Indianapolis, because maybe you can get another win in that thing, man. But congrats tonight, man, getting that win, first one of the season. I tell you, it's got to feel great for yourself. But before we let you get out here and get prepared for Kentucky next week in the Gen 6 car, man, anybody wants to shout to?
You guys, obviously, week in and week out, obviously love coming up here, talking to you guys, especially when I win. Can't complain about that. Obviously, my dad out there watching. My beautiful fiance in the living room right now, my gorgeous little son. Love you both. And obviously the league, great showing tonight. Glad we rebounded from last week, and was able to put on a good field tonight, bring back the Gen 6 cars, looking to gain some momentum for next week, and get back to this package, because I was pretty dominant in this package with saving tires. So I just gotta get back on my A game. Wasn't there tonight, but I'll take the win.
Hey, man, well, I'll tell you what, definitely going to take the win here tonight for yourself in that 81. Congrats on that nonetheless, buddy. And we'll let you get prepared for next week in Kentucky. You have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey, you guys too. Have a good week.
All right, everybody. That was our winner, Steven Stippian here tonight. First win of the season for him, and second win of the season for Smoke Inc. after Dave Bush gets that win at Daytona. Man, what a season. We're already having 4 races in. It's looking to be a titanic battle between our drivers throughout this field. Man, I could not explain to you how good this ending of this race was here in Indianapolis. Sometimes this track can put on a little bit of a more calm show, but I tell you what, those cautions right there definitely spiced it up, and we got to see the spicy emotes, and I'm always a fan of the spicy emotes out there here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. So thank you all for tuning in and bringing that action. But let's go ahead and bring up our race results. As you can see there, Steven Stippian bringing home that race win. Second's going to go to Chuck Sweeten. What a great run for him. Third's going to go to Mark Whitley after a dominant performance. Fourth's going to be Dakota Bryant. Fifth's going to be Brad Delph after rebounding. He was a lap down at one point, had a mistake on pit road, so great rebound for Brad Delph. Sixth's going to go to Brandon Hartwell. Seventh's going to be Jason Adams. Eighth's going to go to Cody Dorsey. Ninth's going to be Larry Blair. And rounding out your top 10 is going to be Derek Love in that 87. And some of the notable guys back here throughout the rest of the field as our results scroll through. Looks like Michael Yarrow there from that 4th starting spot ran up in the top 3 for majority of the night. He's going to bring home 19 after a sudden stop on pit road, and I hope everything is all right there for Michael and everything is all good. But also Dave Bush there in the 16th position. He started 5th, ran the top 5 all night long, gets caught up in a wreck there between him and the 58, and just is not able to rebound from that, as he's going to bring home the 16th spot. That's our race results here tonight from Sim Racing Unleashed. It was a fantastic night of racing, David. I tell you what, if this Gen 6 car can continue to produce this type of action, at the rest of the mile and a half, it's going to be a fun time for the rest of the season.
Yeah, a fun time, and tonight was definitely that. We got to see all different kind of things be played out, the different pit strategies. Just some late cautions. Initially I thought that we might be able to go caution free, but had some late cautions that kind of shook things up. Mark Whitley, just a dominating performance, but a late caution changed that up. And Steve Sippian, who's been running in second place most of the evening, comes out and gets the win. And I mentioned early in the broadcast when we started to keep an eye on Chuck, and Chuck brought it home in second place. So I think he's a car to watch the rest of the season as we move on to Kentucky. And unfortunate day for Dave Bush, who was running third in points. Just a tough break for him today. And we'll see how he rebounds as we move on to next week over in Kentucky.
It's going to be a fun time. Don't miss out on all that action here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell notification button so you can be notified when we go live here at Sim Racing Unleashed and all our other leagues here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, because we got a lot of action in store for you each and every week. So again, thank you all for tuning in. It has been a pleasure to call the action here tonight at the J&S Lawn Service 200. Man, oh man, what a race it was. Thank you all again for tuning in. We'll send it up to our producer, Robert Warrior Jr., to close out tonight's broadcast.
All right. Thank you, David. Thank you, Zach. Great calling here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. One of the best tracks out there here on iRacing.com service, and also just in general in real life, man. It put on a good show. They brought back the Gen 6 cars, and, well, it put on a great show. Side-by-side battling all the way back through the field. You guys were talking about it all night. Back there, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, all the way back to 20th, 21st, all the way back, even farther than that, close to the end of the pack running. We're battling it all over the place. And then we had some pit stops, and then we had the front runners, and then we had some weird pit stops, and then we had some just a whole bunch of weird things actually happened tonight here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway here with Sim Racing Unleashed. But like you guys said, we'll be with these guys next week. If you're going back and watching this replay, make sure that you do hit that subscribe button if this is your first time here. If you're listening right now, or you go back and watch this replay, like I said, and hit that subscribe button, like button, and please, ladies and gentlemen, share it to your favorite social media platform of your choosing. It helps the league out. It helps us out in general, and it just brings in more fans of iRacing and NASCAR and racing in general. So we do much appreciate that from all the support we get out there on all the social media platforms here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. So we do much appreciate that. Also, pay attention to everybody. Our Facebook page on the weekends is very active of what's going on in real life. So make sure you tune in over there. You know, go over there, give us a like over there and a follow, and you can also comment to our posts throughout the day. Starts on Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday nights, talking about NASCAR, racing in general, and what's going on with the racing world in general. But so with that being said, our next televised will be tomorrow night with we'll be going with the NISCC Truck Series. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night at 8:50, as we'll have Sam Dyer and Zach Hall calling all the action tomorrow night at 8:50 here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting with them guys in the truck. So it's going to be fun to watch them. But with that being said, we're going to head off out of here from the virtual side of things of Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We want to make sure everybody has a great rest of your Sunday night. Be safe on Monday. Hopefully we catch you tomorrow night for the NISCC Truck Series at 8:50. But until then, or later in the day, we want to say here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, God bless everybody. We love yous all. Peace out.